Today we're going to talk about a PlayStation 2 classic that's been on my shelf since 2005, and that game is called Samurai Western. This game is by the folks who came up with the Persona series, the game developer called Atlus, and that might give you some insight into how seriously this game takes itself. And that is to say, very seriously and also not at all at the same time. This video is actually part 2 in a series I'm doing about PlayStation 2 classics, more so lesser known games, so yeah, this has been pretty fun. So if you love retro video games, now is a great time to subscribe to my channel. To get things started with Samurai Western, let's just talk about this game's synopsis. Players assume the role of a samurai named Gojiro, and Gojiro finds himself in the Old West in America hunting down his brother to kill him. Samurai have a big problem with dishonoring each other, and Gojiro's brother has most definitely dishonored his family. He's turned his back on the sword, and he now prefers 6-shooters and saloons. And also a really cool pair of Jenko-looking leather chaps.
Stop!
So yeah, this game's story is exactly as cheesy as it sounds, but I don't think that the creators of this game had any issue with that at the time, and they sort of leaned into it. So speaking of leaning into it, the real appeal about Samurai Western isn't necessarily the gameplay. It's very simple. Each stage is broken up into one of 3 formats. Players will find themselves fighting through hordes of enemies, or they'll find themselves fighting a boss, and ultimately they'll find themselves fighting through hordes of enemies and a boss at the same time. So I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, Samurai Western's pretty technically flawed. The camera's not great, the controls are okay at best. It's snappy and responsive, but not really that much fun because I can't see where I'm going and I can't see where the enemies are coming from. What this game lacks in technical prowess, it actually makes up for in style and absurdity. When you kill enemies, they spew fountains of blood as if this is that one scene in Kill Bill, or all the scenes in Kill Bill. The characters are very outlandish, to the point where I thought this game was actually based on an anime, but it's not. If it was, this would be some kind of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure meets Samurai meets the Wild West sort of anime, but lo and behold, there's no anime like it. You get all your content from Samurai Western from the game. So on top of the amazing character design, I started to notice a few voices that sounded familiar. One of which came from the game's main antagonist. His name is Goldberg, and he sounded like a man who had given me orders once before.
You are a visitor to our country, and we're no doubt confused as to the way we do things here.
And then it hit me like a giant walking robot. That is the voice of Roy Campbell from Metal Gear Solid, Paul Eating. So once I realized that the guy who voiced Roy Campbell was in this game, I had to see who else did voices for Samurai Western. And the results of this research were very worth my time. Steve Bloom, who you might know from a little anime called Cowboy Bebop.
Hold your horses there, partner.
He also voices Wolverine a lot. Jennifer Hale, the legendary Jennifer Hale, who did the voice for Femshep in Mass Effect.
Yes, everyone's working hard to make this town even better than before.
Also, Jennifer Hale's work is all over gaming, so definitely not just Mass Effect. Also Samurai Western. Phil Lamar, who did the voice for Samurai Jack, he also played Vamp in Metal Gear Solid 2.
Thanks to you, they had the courage to stand up to him.
And Tasia Valenza, who did the voice for Sniper Wolf in Metal Gear Solid.
So why don't you just move on?
As a matter of fact, Quentin Flynn, who did the voice for Raiden from Metal Gear Solid, is also in this game. Now that I've said that all out loud, I'm starting to realize that maybe I enjoyed this game because most of the voices have been in Metal Gear Solid games before and I felt comfortable. Samurai Western could have only existed in 2005 when gaming was really starting to get weird. You know, now we knew we could make things in 3D, now we knew we could make things with voice acting, and certain art styles can start making their way through and really actually work on the PlayStation 2 and that era of consoles. And this is the perfect time for art to get weird, and I think Samurai Western is a good example of art getting a little weird. The game's whole ethos is based on just cramming 2 genres of film together and making a video game about it and it being passable. The idea of deflecting bullets back at enemies was just too cool not to try out, and that's the reason I bought this game. Because of the fantasy that comes with being a samurai in the West and pretty much being a Jedi, because you're deflecting bullets and you're dodging them. That's not exactly human stuff, but a samurai can do it. So Samurai Western, in my opinion, is a timepiece of 2005 gaming, and it's also a bit of a collectible. As I was playing this game and doing some more research on it, I actually found that this game's worth $250 on eBay, which is insane in my opinion. But I suppose it became rare over time. I mean, I wonder if the circulation was low. I haven't done that much research, but I wasn't going to sell my copy before, and I'm still not going to. This game is staying on my shelf for as long as it can.
もはや言葉は無用。行くぞ、ゴジ
So what kind of games were you getting yourself into in 2005? What kind of classics were you playing back then? Was it samurai western? Were you slicing through the old west like a maniac, or was it something else? Let me know in the comments. I really want to know what you enjoyed back then and maybe what you'll revisit soon. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you subscribe because there's going to be more PlayStation 2 videos coming your way. And until then, I will see you in the next video. And make sure to look out for your local samurai.